All right, so what's up, guys? So we are out here on another run, out here doing this craziness. Well, you guys just simply sit back, watch, admire, enjoy. Right, as we're getting caught out in the rain and the nighttime and the scariness that might present to us, right? Because it's a lot more dangerous, it's a lot more scary, and within that comes a heightened risk, right, of making a mistake, right? The water's wide, we could slip and fall, and you know, if it's dark, a car can, God forbid, not see us and hurt us. And in the end, you know, you have to be aware of that, be careful, right? And specifically when you're out working out, trying to make the most of your body, you can fall susceptible to making a mistake. And you know, for you, don't worry, because we're gonna give you 4 ways that, you know, you can potentially make some mistakes, right? So you can avoid them and be on your way to getting better, working on yourself, and, you know, finding that improvement. So without further ado, we are gonna go to mistake number 1, and that is, you know, trying to ego lift, right? You may not necessarily do this on purpose, but for so many of us, we could get so caught up in how much weight we're lifting and how much weight our friends are lifting, right? And we want to surpass them and lift more than them. And you know, that leads into an endless loop, right? Because everyone has a bigger friend than them, and a bigger friend than that, a bigger friend than that, right? All up until, you know, you become pretty much the best in the world. And you know, that's a spot pretty much reserved for one person, right? The chances are you're probably not gonna want to be there. And you know, if you approach it with the wrong mindset, right, with the ego mindset that I'm at the top of the world, no one can touch me, no one can hurt me, you know, are going, you know, to not be happy, right? It's not going to be everything for you, right? Because it might feel great for a couple weeks, a couple months, right? It might feel awesome, right? The awards that you win and the prestige, right? And the accolades and the titles, right? Mr. Olympia, Mr. Universe, whatever you're trying to win. And yes, that's good. Those are awesome. But you know, you have to detach yourself from the ego, right? You have to come from a place of doing those things for you, right? Working on your body and your fitness in order to make yourself better and faster and stronger for you, right? Because that, you know, ultimately is the end all be all, right? Not the, you know, achievements and awards that you win, right? It's about the work that you put in. And you know, that's gonna come from disconnecting yourself from the ego, right? All those milestones and compliments, right, and accolades that you may win, right? And they're not bad, but those can be easily tied with that ego, right? Your bank account even, and so forth. But we're talking specifically about fitness, right? And your bank account is almost like your six pack, right? How much it's showing up, right? Your biceps, those are direct reflections of your progress and how well you're doing, right? They allow you to keep score. And if you get so caught up in them, you are gonna mess up, right? So that's even tip number 2, right? After we disconnect ourselves from the ego, right, of having to achieve, to prove something to other people, we can simply go to work, just, you know, to do it, right? Just to go through the motions of it, right? And get better and better and keep working. And, you know, only from then will you be able to really see that progress and be content, right? Reach a place of happiness, right? And joy. Because, you know, by the same virtue of you just waking up and doing it every day, falling in love with the process, that is going to be what is the best thing for you, right? Not whether or not you win the contest or get the six-pack, okay? Because I'll tell you this, before I had a six-pack and you know the results that I have now, I thought that they were everything, right? I thought that once I would get a six-pack, my whole life would be completely different. And yes, there were certain aspects that changed, right? Of course, it makes you more attractive, right? Of course, it puts you in better shape, right? You have more endurance. That's great, but you know, it wasn't all that it was cracked up to be, right? It doesn't make every girl instantly look at your abs and fall in love with you, right? Just like it doesn't make you, you know, into an Ironman, right? Able to handle anything, right? There's still work to be done. So by falling in love with the process, falling in love with getting better, which is going to be every day, that's never going to end, you're going to be happy, right? Your happiness will never end. So by doing that, you are going to be on your way, you know, to avoiding that common mistake, right, of becoming obsessed with the results. So without further ado, we're going to go into tip number 3, and this is to ignore, you know, the form, right, and the fundamentals, right, those basic principles that you need in order to lift the right way, right? Not go too fast, right? To really slow down and focus on what you're doing, right? If you're working out biceps, really, you know, go into your own head and body and really feel your bicep being worked out, right? Is it flexing? Is it not? How hard is it flexing? And so forth, right? And only from them will you be able, you know, to really avoid that mistake, right? And avoid injury, right? Because far too often when we ignore our form, ignore our processes as to getting there, that can lead to a host of problems, right? Not only, you know, not getting the progress that we want to get, right? Because you're not essentially hitting the muscles the right way repeatedly, which is what's going to lead to those gains. But if you do them the wrong way, you might, you know, move an arm, you know, essentially the way it wasn't designed or built to be used, right? Our bodies have specific functions, and while one way may not be universally true for everyone, right? All of our bodies are different. There are certain things that we have to avoid in order to not hurt ourselves, right? Running a certain way or curling a bar with a certain, you know, routine and mechanics. So from there, you will be able, you know, to avoid that mistake, which comes from a lack, essentially, of focus, you know, on what it is that you're doing. So, you know, without further ado, we're gonna go into fitness mistake numero 4, number 4, and that is, you know, to essentially not, no, you know, get, you know, you have electronic devices around you, right? You know, TVs that may be on in the gym and so forth, right? I see far too many people at the gym, right? And they may be getting lost in a tennis match, right, or a game, but essentially they're at the gym to work out, right? The people on the tennis match aren't watching them work out and vice versa, right? They have so much to concentrate on. So why, you know, if you're at the gym, why would you divert some of your attention on them, right? If they're not giving it back to you, right? Record the match if you have to and watch it later. But while you're at the gym, don't be distracted, right? That's not to say that you can't check on the score every so often when you're on a break. But if you're essentially working out and looking at it at the same time, that's not very good, right? That means you either got to work out earlier or later, or record it, like we said. So that's one big thing, right? Don't get distracted, right? And if it's your phone that's the culprit, leave it at home, right? Don't take it with you, because, you know, essentially it can be a distraction, right? You having to pull it out of your pocket, you see a message from somebody, you want to text them back, and so forth, right? And to you, it might seem like the most important thing to do right now, and it would kill the importance of where you are right now, and that is the gym, right? It's a big, huge mistake, right? Avoid those distractions. And, you know, take these 3 other fitness tips or mistakes and avoid them, right? Because they're very common ailments, right? So many people can fall prey to them, right? And lose particular progress that they were supposed to make. And in essence, not get to where they want to be. But we want you to get there. So as always, say thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.